Right guys, so a monumental moment. We've got the heater on, everything's dry in this room, and Natasha is about to do the first bit of paint, which should go on the ceiling.
Oh.
In the corner.
Oh, no.
And work your way across.
I thought I was doing the wall.
Do the ceilings first and then the walls. So here we go, first bit of paint. Look at that, nice 50-50 mix of emulsion and water.
Right guys, so the mist coat is done. We've let it dry for a bit. I'm just going around now, and as you can see, just like around the sockets in some areas, there are some little spots which just need to rub down, which is not as bad as the office. We've got 2 spots there, and I think that is about it. Oh, a little bit where the window. But other than that, everything seems really flat and perfect to paint. So I'm going to finish up, just go around and check in. Once we've done that, I'll go around. There's 1 or 2 tiny little scrapes I need to fill. And that is it for this room, and then we can put another mist coat on, and then put our top coats on. When I'm filling, guys, this is my my go-to filler, one strike. They got a few different versions of this stuff. It's really lightweight, and I use these flexible scrapers for filling, or filling knives as some people call them. Really perfect. You can get a really flat spread and just scrape the excess off. Sometimes it will shrink, like where I fill the pins on the architrave, but you do 1 more coat, little like rub down before you paint it, and you'll never even know it's in. Now everything's 1 coated, sanded and filled where we need to. I'm going to jump back on the ceiling. I don't know if it's the proper way to do a decorator's work cursively, but I'm going to go perpendicular now to the way we went earlier, just to make sure we get full coverage and we don't have loads of solid lines going in one direction. All the mist coating is done. We're about to go for our first coat of solid white. We popped to John Stones this morning. We got a colour match similar to what we wanted from Dulux, which is cheap, and we got 2 10 litres of contract matte white emulsion for, what was it, 23 quid?
Yeah, 23 quid for 2.
So that's really good. So the whole order, I think, was like £60 odd. So that's really good value for money from what we had. So we've got a colour to go on. Fingers crossed we might be able to put it on tonight, and then tomorrow morning you'll be able to see it. We haven't done much filming because it's just painted, just a roller, some brushes. But yeah.
And it's freezing in here, so I've got the heater on. I've got my dressing gown on.
So for anyone that doesn't know how to do decorating, especially on fresh plaster, you want to do a 50-50 mix with matte emulsion and water, get that well mixed. Do 1 coat. If you think it needs another one just to build it up, do another one. That helps seal the paint into the plaster without peeling off or flaking off. Once you do that, you want to get a solid coat of white, and then from there you can go with your top colours, or if you stay with white, just some more white. So that's how I like to do it, and that's what we're doing here.
Yep. And we haven't cut in at the top because we've just bought some Coving.
Yep, so Natasha decided we're going to have Coving, so that's what we're having.
While I'm cutting in over here, Rhys is next door trying to sort out this door, and all I heard
Hang on.
was a big, oh my god! Well, not in that high pitched voice,
I cut the
obviously.
hinges out for the door. I've just started marking up for my hinges now to swing the door the right way. This is the top of the door, but if anybody can notice, if Natasha's pans at the door, which side of the hinge is meant to be on, Natasha?
The other side.
So I was literally about to cut out the hinges on the leading edge of the door where the handle goes on, and obviously it's got a panel, and if I chop that out, that would be a door ruined, so that would be £200 odd down the drain. Luckily I noticed, so just a reminder to myself, take my time, double check everything, because the last thing I want to do is chuck £200 down the drain.
Just like that, guys, 1 more door is done. Let's come back in here now, carry on with the painting.
So guys, it's now about 7 o'clock in the evening. We're going to try and make a start on the coving. So we've got this stuff from Screwfix. It's like a foam. It's not polystyrene, but it's like a extruded foam. It's really good quality stuff, quite hard, very lightweight. So what we want to do is work out our depth and height of this, which we've looked on Google and found the website. So the top, oh my God, this top section from the front to the back of the wall is 126 mil, and from the bottom up to the ceiling is 106 mil. So I'm going to be making a jig. There probably is a way you can work this out on a chop saw, but I'd rather make a jig so we get a spot on. And the way you do this is, if I just get all this off here now, this bit of plasterboard is going to represent our ceiling. So if our ceiling was like this, I'm going to get a bit of timber on this back. Oh, bloody hell, almost lost the phone there. I'm going to get a bit of timber on this back edge nice and straight, and it's going to be 105 mil deep, at least 105 mil deep. And then once you've got that straight edge, from the front of the timber to the stop that I'm going to make is going to be 126 mil. And that's going to give us our perfect corner for the mould. It's hard to explain, I'll put it into action, but this is going to be flipped upside down. So we're going to work this out as if this is our upside down ceiling. This bit of 110 mil timber we fixed on here, I'm going to put a straight edge down there to make sure it's straight. That's going to represent the wall, that's going to represent the ceiling. And then what I'm going to do is measure off this wall, well, our pretend wall, measure off there and set this timber to 126 mil, which, fair play, just lucky, that's about it. But it's all got to be parallel. Once I've done that, I'm going to set a point from there across there. I'm going to cut guides 45 degrees. And once that works, you can set your mould in, put the front edge in here, let it drop back, and you can do your 45s, and that will give you your exact working out for 45-degree corners. And then obviously, if you wanted to do different corners, you'd have to bisect your angles and recut different lines in here and just mark them. But that should give you your internal and external 45s. So this is a jig screwed up in place. The idea is, obviously, if we flip this upside down, this would be the ceiling here, that'd be the wall, and that would be the back edge of the coving. And also, I can drop it in place for you. You can just drop it in like so. Right, that's how it would look on the jig. I've put a centre point there. I'm going to cut through here now, and then I'm going to take that line all the way through here. I'm going to do a nice cut there, a nice cut there, and that will give us our angles for cutting our 45, if that makes sense. So the best way I can describe this, guys, is replicating. If you imagine the coving now up in the ceiling, and I had a handsaw, I could cut up into the face of the coving 45, and that'd be the perfect cut. So that is basically what this is replicating, just upside down. So when I cut through there now, that'll give us our perfect angles. That'll be the bottom corner, and this will be the top corner. Yeah, that's how it would work. This is the first time since my apprenticeship when I was like 17, 18 years old, guys, that I've made one of these coving jigs. And the first time since my apprenticeship I've done coving. And to be fair, first try, without any errors, we've got our coving sitting pretty good, if I do say so myself. I don't know if you can see that from down there, but from here it looks good. Bit of cork in the corner, put it together, and that will be perfect. What I'm doing now is I'm just marking down from the ceiling to the bottom of the coving, which is 106 mil. I've done one mark this end, I've done one the other end, and as you'll see on that wall over there, we've got a chalk line. So Natasha stood up on her hop up, I went to the other end of the ladder, get a chalk line, hold either end on the mark, pin it, and that gives you the exact point where you need to put your pins. If you have any deviations in your ceilings or walls, you can just bend the pins up or down to suit. We are very lucky because I put the ceilings in all flat and level with a laser. So as you can see up there, there's a bit of a shadow gap on the one bit, but that's because I haven't got a pinhole in. And the coving is just going to be spot on, all the corners are going to be perfect, so I'm really happy with that. One thing I forgot, it is, when making these molds, I should have had two of these timbers either side, because I'm trying to cut through like so, but I've got to start my saw down there, and on the corners it's just scagging a little bit, making a little bit of a mess. So if you're going to make one of these, you want to have two walls the same height. So when you put your saw in, you can sit it on this side there and just go straight through. So that's the offcut, guys. If you were doing externals, that'll be an external cut. And because this is internal, this is how our internal cut looks. You see, brush all the dust off, nice and crisp all the way through.
Sunday morning, we're going to finish the coving today, get the skirting on, get everything corked and ready for the final colour. So what we did last night, we went around, marked down 106mm in all the corners. Natasha's going to assist me now. I'm going to pin the chalk line all the way around and I'm going to get some pins tacked in, ready for the coving. So there we have it, guys. That is the chalk line pinned all the way around the room. That will give us the bottom line where we need to grab pins for the coving. So we can get that done and then get all the cuts finished.
Now that Rhys had done a dry fit with the long side, he's just putting the smaller side in, and then he will mark out from where it marked last time. You see, yeah, on the board, so then he can do his 30-degree cut through that board.
So I cut the other piece with that piece down there with the 30 degrees this way. So I'm taking this through. I'm going to use the light on the chop saw just to line up my mark like so. And then we're going to cut through this way, and this piece will marry up nicely with the other piece.
Now that Rhys has cut both of the angles, he is using, I don't know, what glue are you using this?
Solvent-free adhesive, grab adhesive. That's what it looks like now. We're going to start on the other sides and get it finished.
Coving is in and it's set in, and we're going to jump onto the skirting, so we're going to show you that now.
So what Rhys is doing now, he's just putting some foam in because he doesn't want any of the draft to come through the wall. Is that right, Rhys?
A bit of draft and a bit of moisture, if any.
If any. Just, you don't need to do this, but we've worked so hard on prepping the floors, prepping the walls, prepping the ceilings. So yeah.
The reason I'm pinning these ones, guys, is because this is top down board and they're really straight. So I'm just putting a few pins in to hold it. I've put a bit of foam behind it because I'm running out of solvent grab adhesive. So that should just hold them to the wall and be decorated fine. So that's this wall, and then on the stone walls I'm using grab adhesive. I say stone, on the masonry walls using grab adhesive. Behind Natasha, I've had to put a couple of pins in because there was a bit of a belly in the wall. So I had to pull that in, but other than that, that wall's flat, this wall's flat. So it should all look good.
So I just finished caulking the skirting. It's time to take all the pins out of the coving. Fingers crossed this adhesive is taken. The coving is all caulked, the skirting is all caulked, and we're ready to paint the coving. We've lost daylight, hence the light now. It's quite late, what was it, like 6:30, 7
Yeah.
o'clock? So I'm going to wrap this up, just get one coat of white over this, ready for Natasha to start putting the colour on tomorrow.